Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Reverend Sally Fritsche, and I am delighted to serve as minister to this congregation here on the treaty land of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. It is wonderful to be here with all of you. Many thanks to our guest musician, Roula Said, for being here with us today for our gathering music, which brought us together. For those of us in person, please remember to be aware of the various needs and boundaries of one another while we're together, honoring our mask-required seating area, keeping aisles clear for mobility devices, remembering that we are a community of many ages and abilities, which means we embrace whatever little noises or disruptions might come with being together. We're committed to a love that makes space for all. If you have a phone or other device that can be silenced, I invite you to do that now, unless your device is something you need to engage in the service. And know that our services are usually 60 to 90 minutes long, so if there's anything you need to make yourself comfortable in the space, sit, stand, stretch, pace, fidget, please feel free to do so, including going into the wiggle room where there's a comfy couch, or to the activity table where we have art supplies and kinetic sandbox to play with. If you're new and would like to keep in touch, please fill out a newcomer card in the back of the chair with your contact info and leave it in the offering basket when we pass it around later. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your relationship to belief, to spirituality, or to this community, we are glad you are here today. Today's service is a very special one. For those who can see the front of the sanctuary, this is a ritual I hope we'll be able to observe annually, an All Souls Sunday. Last week, the pagans among us were celebrating Samhain and the thinning of the veil between worlds. Similarly, families of Mexican heritage are celebrating the Day of the Dead, setting up home altars or ofrendas piled high with food, flowers, and photographs of beloved ancestors. Some of us may visit graves at this time of year, or maybe year-round on significant anniversaries, leave flowers, speak prayers, or simply remind ourselves of how much time has passed. We have 1,000 different ways of grieving loss and holding on to memory. And in many UU spaces, we have All Souls Sunday, the first Sunday in November, as a reliable part of the rhythm of the year, when we pause to acknowledge all those we have lost. Among UUs today, you may not find any two who believe exactly the same thing about what happens after you die, but we are still united in these moments of ritual, of tradition and community, when we come together to honor the universality of loss. We do not typically celebrate All Saints' Day, as in some traditions, but All Souls' Day, because all souls are worthy of remembrance. So whatever your theology, whatever your beliefs about life, death, the universe, whether this is your first Sunday with us or your 1,000th, whether you're here in person or one of our many online participants, know that this service is here for you, and may you find in it something that you need. Before we begin, let's take one moment to remember we are here together and turn to greet those around us with a good morning, a handshake, a bow, a smile. And after you've greeted a neighbor in the sanctuary, remember to wave to the camera and all those online. Those online, feel free to unmute and check in with your fellow online viewers. We will ring the chime to bring us back together in a minute. Ding dong. Ding dong Deb. Ding dong Deb. Thank you. And I am joined this morning by our wonderful service weaver, Debb Bertazzon.
Thank you, Rev Sally. Good morning, beautiful souls. Let me just take a look at you. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to service weave. At this time of the year, it's the end of the final harvest. I'm experiencing the thinning of the divide between this world and the realm of the spirits, as my Irish forebears did during Samhain. It's Halloween, All Souls Day. There is a lot going on. And during this time when my body and mind and soul transitions into the dark day of winter, well, dark days, I think both of the ancestors and about the land. So it is with humility and reverence that I stand before you today as an uninvited guest and acknowledge that the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations are the treaty holders and the true ancestors of the land where this congregational building sits, and that the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, lived here before me and are living here now, together with other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. I offer my gratitude to all of our Indigenous siblings and to their ancestors and to the keepers and the tellers of the stories over the generations, and particularly the teachings about Earth, and for their ongoing stewardship of the land and the waters. So let's begin today, in this very moment, with all of that in mind, by co-creating and entering into sacred space. And to do so, please join me in either reciting or listening to our collective invocation. Let us cast a circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast a circle of a cherished space here, a space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life, a life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Jen Magnus. Jen will draw from the flame already burning in the children's chalice. Now, while some of us may be in the habit of listening to the wisdom shared by our elders and our ancestors, the flame from the children's chalice reminds us that our young ones see the world through fresh, untainted eyes, and that their unique wisdom is also valuable. And that's why we use the children's chalice as our initial source flame. And please join us. Let's all sing this together, our chalice lighting song. We light this chalice to remember, to light the fire within our own hearts. And now I'd like to call upon Allison, Denise, and Wendy, who will lead us in our centering song.
We're going to be singing Gathered Here, and we usually sing the last line of this hymn as Spirit, Draw Near. But in honor of the ancestral spirits, we invoke with the altar and ritual of all souls. Today we will sing in the plural, Spirits, Draw Near. Invite the memory and spirit of all those we have lost to gather close around us for this time together. So we've sung this before. But we're going to just do it line by line because we're going to do it in a round. That's why there's three of us up here. Thank you, Denise and Wendy. So I'll sing a line, and then you'll repeat it back. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in one strong body. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Gathered here in the struggle and the power. Spirit strong. So we'll sing it all together once, and then Denise will start part one, and then after the first line, we'll join in successively. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, spirits draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in this one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the body, gathered here in the struggle strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in this one strong body, gathered here strong struggle and power, spirits draw near.
We sing well together. And now let's continue in sacred space. Our mission here at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. Our theme for the month of November is our first UU principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And just a reminder, if you need to familiarize yourself with with our 8 principles, there's a sign at the top of the stairs, but there's also by the screen in the cappuccino room and at the front entrance, little bookmarks, and they're listed on there as well, and you're welcome to take them. Today our service will be focused on All Souls. As I was reflecting on today's service and the rituals we often participate in during All Souls Day, I found myself getting stuck, and I kept avoiding it. Finally, well, TikTok, I had to figure out what the blocking was all about. It occurred to me that remembering those who have passed can be a really complex exercise, and that it can be difficult for a variety of reasons. Often when people speak about loved ones who have gone before them, it's common to hear expressions of sadness and the loss that they feel because they're missing them. I know that this can be painful, and I don't by any means want to minimize or diminish those feelings, but I also recognize that it can be somewhat easier to share those types of feelings. And maybe easier isn't the right word. Maybe we should just say it's different. So let me explain. I believe that some people are more comfortable speaking about sadness because it's normative, it's accepted, and it's sometimes even expected when it comes to dealing with loss. And there's all these unspoken rules, like not speaking ill of the dead. And while I believe our first UU principle to be true, the inherent dignity and worth of all people, there also has to be space for folks who have had complicated, challenging, or even blatantly difficult relationship with loved ones who have died, and who may continue to carry unresolved issues and an absence of closure. So that's one thing. The second thing that occurred to me was that next week is the Feast of St. Francis, and we'll be celebrating the blessings of the animals here at Neighborhood. I'm sorry that I have to miss it, but apparently Denise is going to bring Rafi for me, so that's good. But in connection with today's service, I started thinking about how many times I've heard folks who have lost their animal companions say that they love them more than any of the human animals in their life. Right? Yeah, I heard a little giggle over there. And yet, some people still believe that non-human animals don't have souls. So both of those ideas are problematic for me. So today, as we participate in our All Souls ritual, let's think outside the box. Think whatever we think, feel whatever we feel, remember whatever we choose to remember without guilt, and believe whatever we believe despite convention. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Rumi once said, "The soul has been given its own ears to hear things that the mind does not understand." So let's listen with our own individual souls today. Okay, over to you, Roula.
Thank you. See if I can remember that note. Maybe you guys can help me remember that note. Good morning, everyone. So, as many of you know, a lot of souls have left the world in Palestine, where I'm from. And I'm so grateful for this congregation that welcomes the honoring of my people and the humanizing of my people who are, apart from suffering loss and genocide, also the systematic dehumanization, which is a kind of death. This is a song that has been making the rounds in the world of social media. It has become known as the drone song because while it was written by a young Palestinian musician and composer, I believe, who's based in Jordan these days, it sort of caught fire because of a music teacher in Gaza who sang it with his students over the drone of the drones, which are a 24/7 phenomenon. And the sound of the drone is in B flat, so I thought we would sing that in the same note that they are singing it to in Gaza. And I want to offer a few choices for you to join me in this. I know the Arabic might be a lot to crunch in your mouth, but we can do a couple of things. So you can drone and come and go as your breath allows, and you can drone on a or an ooh or whatever sound you want to drone on. And I'll go back to that B flat, which has already left my brain. And the other thing you can do is to sing a few words with me. So the words say, Shel, Shel, Ajjamali, Shel. And Shel is literally an invitation to carry on, to find your strength. And you can see that the translation is there. So one thing we can do is sing to the rhythm. Let me find that B flat again. We'll do a little experiment. Somebody has a really good musical memory. Shel, 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 Shale, shale, 3, 4. Shale, 2, 3, 4. Shale, shale, 3, 4. Shale, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. So we'll do that twice. And then there's a second verse that maybe we could see or maybe not. Yes. So the second verse, we're going to sing wail, 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 2, 3, 4. Wail, wail, 3, 4. Wail, 2, 3, 4. So shale, shale for the first verse and wail, wail for the second verse. And each of those will get repeated twice. And I want to just give you a little experience of, I think one of the gifts of putting another language in your body is a kind of yoga that exists in the sound of the language that's different. So one of the sweet things about Arabic is what I call the sweet L. So the L is like a lateralized, I think of it almost like a baby sound. So as opposed to going la, 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 like we might in English with the tongue on the teeth, in Arabic, the tongue is a little behind the teeth, up on the palate, sort of sweet and juicy and flattened a little bit, and it's more like la, la, la. Yeah, so you get to smile too much when you're doing it. La, la, la. So shale, shale, as opposed to shale, shale. Feel the difference? Shale, shale, and whale, whale. Even the word whale, which is probably where our word whale comes from, honestly. Now I've already forgotten that B flat. We're going to do it now. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I haven't forgotten. All right. So let's try. Shale, shale, shale. Again on the shale. Shale, shale, shale. Let's go to the whale. Whale, 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 whale. Back to the first one. شيل شيل عالجمالي شيل يا هوتك بالله دم الشهيد معطر بالليل ليل يا ليلو ويل ويل عالظالمي ويلو ويلو من الله لا اسهر على نجوم الليل وانا داويله شيل شيل عالجمالي شيل يا هودك بالله دم الشهيد معطر بالهيل ليل يا ليلو ويل ويل عالظالمي ويلو ويلو من الله لا اسهر على نجوم الليل وانا داويله شيل شيل عالجمالي شيل يا هودك بالله دم الشهيد معطر بالهيل ليل يا ليلو ويل ويل عالظالمي ويلو ويلو من الله لا اسهر على نجوم الليل وانا داويله لا اسهر على نجوم الليل وانا داويله.
Hello. Hi. So this is the time for all ages, and today we have my friend Sana, who has a story for all ages for you.
Hello, everyone. I was delighted when Julia asked me to read for you because I love the stories that she chooses. And then I read the story to myself and I got really choked up. So that could happen, and my script is covered in plastic, so we're good. But yeah, it's a good story.
It is. And I have a tissue.
Good for both of us.
You have a tissue for me, and you have your
plastic coated is good.
Right, yes. And thank you. And I have to thank Rev Sally for the choice of story. Thank you. It's a beautiful story.
Yes. Okay. And the story is The Fall of Freddie the Leaf, written by Leo Buscaglia and adapted by Eric Kamenetsky. Once upon a time, in the springtime, Freddie the Leaf was born on a branch of a tall tree along with hundreds of other leaves. Together they danced in the breeze and played in the sun. Daniel was the largest leaf and Freddie's best friend. He was the highest up in the tree and could see very far. So Daniel explained to Freddie that they were part of a tree in a park and told Freddie about birds, the sun, and the moon. Every day, more and more leaves appeared on the branches, and Freddie loved being a leaf in the springtime. In the summer, many people came to the park. "Let's all give them some shade from the hot sun," said Daniel. "Making people happy is part of our purpose in life." Old people sat under the tree and talked. Children ran around and laughed. It was fun to watch them, and Freddie loved being a leaf in the summer. Summer passed, and fall came. The leaves turned red and gold and orange. They were all very beautiful, dancing in the cool breezes and warm sunshine. And lots of people stopped to take pictures of Freddie and all the other leaves, and he loved being a leaf in the fall. Dun, dun, dun. One day, some of the leaves were blown completely off the tree by a strong, cold wind. The leaves on the tree became frightened. "What's happening?" they said. "It's the time for leaves to change," Daniel said. "Some people call it dying." "Will all of us leaves die?" Freddie asked. "Yes," Daniel answered. "Everything that lives also dies." "I won't die," said Freddie. Soon, the tree was almost bare. "We're all afraid of things we don't know," said Daniel. "But just remember, you were not afraid when spring became summer or when summer became fall. Changes are natural." "Will we return in spring?" Freddie asked. "I don't know, but life will. Life lasts forever, and we're part of it," answered Daniel. "Leaves that fall become part of the soil that the tree needs to stay alive and bring a new spring." Freddie didn't like that answer. "It's not fair. What do we get in return?" he asked. To this, Daniel answered, "We've had this world, our friends, the sun, and the shade. Remember the breeze, the people, and the colors in fall. For me, that is enough." That afternoon, Daniel let go of his branch and fell to the ground with a smile. Then Freddie was alone. The first snow fell the next morning. It was bitterly cold, and Freddie felt himself losing his color and becoming brittle. At dawn, the wind came and took Freddie from his branch. He felt himself float quietly, gently, and softly downward. As he fell, he saw the whole tree for the first time. He saw the strong trunk and branches and the rich soil down below with all the leaves from generations past who had made it possible for him to be born in the springtime. And he remembered Daniel's words, "Life lasts forever." Freddie landed on a soft pillow of snow. He closed his eyes and he went to sleep. Oh, God. This is supposed to be your tissue. Here. Okay. There, asleep in the tree and in the ground, plans for new leaves in spring were already beginning.
Thank you, Sana.
Grow in the Spirit, grow in the Spirit, grow in the Spirit, children.
Thank you all for your willingness to share so deeply of your hearts with one another. This is the time of year when the natural world is reminding us what it means to change, to let go, and yes, to die. We heard the story of Freddie the leaf, which I had read many times before and had never teared up, but in fact did tear up this time. So thank you, Sana, for your reading. We heard the story of Freddie learning to accept autumn as a natural part of his journey, same as summer and spring had been. But it can be very hard to apply that lesson to our own journeys, especially when we lose someone we love. I invite you to let those loved ones come to mind now. Maybe there's someone whose picture you placed on our altar when you arrived, someone you lost recently or years ago, or an ancestor you never got to meet. Of all the names and faces on the other side of that veil today, whose presence, whose memory do you feel called to? There are paper leaves scattered throughout the sanctuary today. You might have them on your seat or your neighbor's. Not everyone got the notice to bring photos or mementos for our altar, so if there's someone whose name you would like to include, I invite you to write that name on a leaf. Multiple names, a message maybe, and later in the service when it's time to come forward, you can bring your leaves with you and add all those names and memories to our space. While some of us write, let me also invite neighborhood member Aestus forward for a poem written by 20th century American poet Nancy Wood.
From Many Winters by Nancy Wood. I must go into the earth itself, to know the source from which I came. Where there is a history of leaves, I lie face down upon the land. I smell the rich, wet earth, trembling to allow the birth of what is innocent and green. My fingers touch the yielding earth, knowing that it contains all previous births and deaths. With a branch between my teeth, I feel the growth of trees, flowing with life, born of ancient death. I cover myself with earth, so that I may know, while still alive, how sweet is the season of my time. You shall ask, what good are dead leaves? And I will tell you, they nourish the sore earth. You shall ask, what reason is there for winter? And I will tell you, to bring about new leaves. You shall ask, why are the leaves so green? And I will tell you, because they are rich with life. You shall ask, why must summer end? And I will tell you, so that the leaves can die. And you shall ask, what good are dead leaves? And I will tell you, they nourish the sore earth.
Many thanks. Now I will leave us in the hands of Roula once again for a sung prayer.
So I'm going to come back and get closer to you again. So this is a song that I learned from my beloved friend Abigail, who is the partner of my dear nephew, who live in North Carolina. And diving into it, I found all these theories about where it comes from and who wrote it. And But the melody is by a woman by the name of Jody Healy, and I've also heard many variations of the melody. So we're going to do one today. This can be sung as a round, but maybe we can just try to sing it together first and see what happens. When you were born, you cried. When you were born, you cried. And the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. The world cries and you rejoice. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. Are we feeling like we could try it as a round? Yeah? Yeah, let's try it. So it's going to come in. When you were born, when you were born, Here we go. You guys will be first. When you were born, when you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. I send that one to my beloved friend Tashi, who is making his journey as we speak. Maybe we could do that one more time. Send it to Tash. When you were born, when you were born, you cried. When the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. The world cries and you rejoice.
You shall ask, what good are dead leaves? And I will tell you, they nourish the sore earth. Let me tell you a story about a young God that wanted to create new life. So this God, this divine being, created a seed and fed it with the 4 elements: water, the fire of sunlight, ground up rocks from the earth, carbon dioxide from the air, everything a seed needs to create life. but the new life refuses to grow. This little God gets so frustrated until a gardener comes along and says, "Ah, you're missing the secret ingredient." Any ideas? Any gardeners? You're missing compost. A lifeless rock dust doesn't grow the seed of life. It needs good dirt. It needs compost made of the long ago bits and pieces of other lives, leaves, stems, roots of plants and animals that have died. The secret ingredient to growing new life is death. Every new life is born out of a cycle that goes way, way back beyond what any of us can know. Our little Freddie the leaf is going to become soil that feeds the tree and grows new leaves, leaves he'll never meet, but who are part of him just the same, as we are part of all those who came before us. There are many Unitarian Universalists who find great comfort in the material realities of this life cycle, green burials in which our bodies nourish trees, or blackberry bushes that our descendants will eat from. The idea of our atoms and molecules dissolving back into the elemental universe from which they came. But even if you're of the opinion that all this talk of compost and earthiness is a bit morbid, there is a spiritual and communal dynamic that might still speak to you on days like this. What if it's not just our bodies that dissolve and nurture the world that we leave behind? But what if all of us, ourselves, can do the same, a kind of spiritual composting? What if all our actions in life, our connections, our memories, our ideas don't just disappear, but can be turned over and mixed into a rich layer of topsoil, enriching the lives of everyone who knew us and everyone they know, and so on, reaching out far beyond our own lifetime? When we memorialize those we love, when we light candles, sing songs, visit graves, it's because part of us knows that the ripples of their life are still being felt in our own hearts, if nowhere else, knows that as long as we remember them, there is a part that still exists in the world. Just like a leaf will be forever present in the life of the soil, the presence of those we love continues to echo in every memory we have of them. Every time we're inspired to live by their example, or to learn from them by example, every photograph, old birthday card, familiar recipe has the power to conjure the presence of those we've lost. Every time we hear their favorite song, or catch the scent of their perfume, or wrap up in the quilt they made for us, we keep that connection alive. It doesn't have to be all sadness and mourning. It can be complicated. It can also be joyous. It's possible to greet death sometimes with silence and sometimes with song, the ringing of bells. On All Souls Sunday, we not only mourn those who have died, but we honor the lives that they lived. Bells are part of many funeral rituals, ringing out to mark the passing of a soul into the next world, or ringing to scare away bad luck or harmful spirits. It's traditional to read the names of congregational members who have died in the year leading up to an All Souls service, and I will do that now, reading some of the names of our lost members is a promise that they are not forgotten here, that they live on. And I will ring a bell 3 times in recognition and celebration of each memory. While the bell rings, I invite you to repeat the name back to me, in whispers to yourself, in shouts. If you're watching from home, you can join in. I invite you to say the name out loud, even if you feel silly speaking into your empty living room, because there is power in speaking aloud the names of those who have gone on. Maggie Cambanis. Susan Crofts. Bruce Crofts. Chris Lawrence. Doug Crozier. And know that there are other names being carried in our hearts and now in our hands today. People you may have lost this year, who might be long departed, but whose memory is still very present. We will let their names be spoken aloud here as well. I will ring our bell once again, 12 tolls for the 12 months of the year. This time while it rings, let those names that have been on the tip of your tongue today spill out and be joined together, all overlapping, to float into the buoyant noise of so many lives remembered here. Take a breath. May their names be spoken for many generations. May their voices live on in our songs. May their courage live on in our commitments. And may their love continue to bless this world. Now is the time to come forward and acknowledge the presence and memory of all those who have gone before us. If you have leaves to add, or a photo, memento, or offering you haven't had the chance to bring to our altar, this will be the time. Or you could simply light a candle, spend a moment in reflection. We have a mix of real flame candles and electric tea lights with the understanding that there are flammable items. We don't want to create a hazard. We'll take this slow, no rush. Be patient with one another. We can line up in our two side aisles. We don't have to alternate. There's plenty of space at our altar for more than one person to be looking or lighting a candle at the same time. Take as much time as you need. If all the candles are already lit, just gaze into the faces of those who are gathered there on the altar. Feel free to speak aloud any names, messages, or prayers that come to your heart. If you're watching from home, you might light your own candle. Take a moment to breathe. Be present with the memories of your own loved ones who are no longer with you. Roula is going to provide us with some meditative accompaniment, and I encourage all of us to use this time to let our minds rest on the many people, places, and stories represented on our altar today. Let the memories surface. If you find the need to laugh or cry or rest your head in your hands, please do. Now I invite us to begin gathering in these two aisles, and you can come forward at your own pace. We are honored with the presence of all these lives gathered together, concentrated in this sacred place. And we honor the lives they lived by keeping that memory alive, by living inspired, by examples given, by lessons learned. The green shoots of our lives and the lives that will follow us grow out of the rich ground of all those who have gone before. These flames burn in memory and in illumination. May we know them, may we see them, may their spirits guide us. This altar is but an outward mark, one time a year, when we make space and time to acknowledge what is true every day. That these memories are with us, that these lives were important, and that we are all journeying this same path along the seasons of our own lives. That we too will be mourned, will be remembered, will have a candle lit and a bell rung for our name and our life. It is with gratitude for all those gathered and for this community that I say amen and blessed be. Take a breath. And I will leave us once more in the capable hands of Roula Said, who will be leading us in a classic folk tune on the topic of life and death and what comes after.
I think this one is probably very familiar. I'm not even going to pick a note out of the air. Do we like singing this one? Yes. Definitely. So let's just sing our hearts out. I think even if you want to stand up, if you want to move, if you want to clap your hands. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. I love the harmonies. To a home on God's celestial shore, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life are gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird from prison bars has flown, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more Blessings, blessings. Thank you for having me here on this very
Thank you,
special
Roula.
occasion. Thank you.
Now is the time for our offertory. This congregation is a living entity, and like all living things, it must have nurturance and sustenance. If you contribute by pre-authorized withdrawals, we thank you. Greeters will be passing the baskets around for those who choose to give in that way, or you can scan the QR code that is on the screens, and that'll connect you to our web page where you can make a donation there. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it. And thank you, as always, for your generosity. If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found home here, if you've known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of our gratitude for our common life as we build the common goods. And greeters, when the money and the donations have been collected, please bring them to me.
Thank you. There are many, many ways to connect with this community. I will share some of what's going on for us in the coming days. We'll begin with an announcement about our silent auction.
And thank you, Sally, Deb, and Roula, for leading us on the journey, the spiritual journey this morning. And now back to the material world. Our silent auction went live yesterday, and we have over 125 items that Pat has done a great job putting onto the website, and we're still counting them up. We're adding more every day, and so please tell your friends about the silent auction link to check it out and make some bids, because the bidding will go on for 2 weeks until Saturday the 15th, and then it will close down. The link's on the poster. The link's on the poster, absolutely. 32auctions.com. And again, it's not too late. Go to your favorite business, get a gift certificate or a tangible item. Pat, you want to say something?
We have a little update. We've now reached about 185 items.
185, wow. We're going to go way over 200. That's wonderful. That's amazing. So again, thank you for your generosity. We really appreciate it, and it's going to be a wonderful count. I mean, we do this every year. It's not a lot of work, but our committee works hard to do it, put it on, and eventually we want to go back to a live auction. Eventually.
Thank you, John. Thank you to the fundraising committee. Thank you very much. Also coming up, there will be a multi-faith marketplace and fair if you are an artist or a crafter and would like to participate and get a table to sell your wares. Let Laura know by this Friday, November 7th. Let her know about that. The Social Environmental Action Committee is meeting next Sunday here in person after the service. All are welcome. You don't have to be a member of the committee. We need your thoughts about how to extend the messages of our services into shared action. So how do we turn Sunday services into something more that can reach beyond our walls? On the following Saturday, so Saturday, November 15th, there will be a movement service here in Rafos Hall. That's an evening service. That's more about embodied practice. If this Sunday service maybe opened some things up for you, the movement service could be a space to explore and process. It's about expressing and moving through grief and loss in a communal, sacred space. That's led by our movement service team. Service begins at 7 p.m. that Saturday. And of course, check the cappuccino room screen that's behind us while you're getting your coffee later on. There are far more things going on. There's always announcements we don't include, so keep an eye on that and your Friday weekly email. Next Sunday is our St. Francis-inspired Blessing of the Animals. If you have an animal companion you would like to bring, they will receive the blessings of our community during that service. And we trust you to use your best judgment on whether that will be a fun experience for your animal companion or a stressful experience. but we look forward to meeting, hopefully, many of your pets. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to call Jen back up to extinguish our chalice. And let's together sing our chalice extinguishing song. Although a chalice has been darkened, we hold
We did invite the spirits in. Thank you all so very much. I invite you to rise once again. If you would like to take the hand of someone near you, you can do that, or simply touch your own heart. Feel the connection that exists there. Know that we are part of a network, living and dead, that stretches beyond what we can know. If you are leaving today right after we close and need to retrieve something from the altar, please do. But the altar will stay up for a few minutes. So if you'd also like to come up, return to it, and spend time with it, you're welcome to do that as well. We'll close today with blessings inspired by words from poet Mary Oliver. May we love what is mortal. May we hold it against our bones, knowing that our own lives depend on it. And when the time comes to let it go, may we let it go. Blessed be, go in peace, be blessed in all you do. Amen.